All good? All right, questions?
What are the main things you hope your team learns from the game the other day?
That we have to run harder offense. I thought we were pushed out way too far on the floor. I thought we were soft offensively, from cutting to screening. Just way too easy to guard.
What's the difference? You say too soft cutting, screening, as opposed to hard cutting, screening. Can you quantify that out?
Well, physically, how fast does your body move when you go from one spot to the other when you're cutting? When you're screening, do you actually physically, put your body on an opponent, or do you just sort of let them slide through?
Chris, you said after the game that you thought you guys were a little impatient offensively. How can you work on patience in practice? Yeah,
I think watching it live versus watching the tape. I'm going to replace impatience with inefficient, not being able to, like I said, screen, catch the ball where we wanted to, run offense hard. So you work on it through practice.
What kind of little things do you do in terms of creating that separation? Just kind of making it harder for you guys to be guarded?
Well, you demand it as coaches, and then you blow the whistle and make them go again if it isn't what it needs to be. And we hopefully learned a valuable lesson. Like, we don't have overwhelming talent where we can just roll out and have guys create their own shots. And this isn't NBA basketball. We have to be able to move the ball. We have to be able to move ourselves. We have to be able to become obstacles as screeners, so that the defense has to lean on one another. And Kentucky didn't have to. They could keep one guy on one guy for the most part, and because of that, we were never able to get anyone out of position to draw fouls, to drive and kick, to get the ball where we needed to in order to be effective on offense.
Things that you're trying to address, are those things that can be changed in a week, or does it take weeks and weeks to develop to the point you want?
Depends on how fast the pupil can learn, and we're sure as hell going to try. I think there are some things that can be fixed, and that's your job. We don't have weeks and weeks.
What is this semester break? What kind of leeway has that given you to maybe with more practices to kind of accelerate that?
Yeah, I mean, we've taken the spotlight off of opponents for a large part of this Christmas break, because you've got 5 practices maybe prior to playing someone, and generally takes a couple days to really get educated on who you're playing, how they play, and so the better part of those practice days have been spent trying to get better at what we do, regardless of the opponent.
Going back to, I guess, when you were putting a roster together and bringing in transfers, I mean, how did you kind of zero in on him? I mean, how did he get on your radar, and how did you get to him?
Well, I mean, there's transfer lists that all these different publications put together, and he was one of many names. You just do your homework, from talking to people to watching film, to talking to his coaching staff or different coaching staffs that maybe were in the same league, and get an overall impression. And when you lose a guy like Quentin Snyder from a year ago, who was extremely experienced at the point, a guy like Darius and Ryan, who, although are capable of being points, that's not their natural position. So we just felt like, especially with a very inexperienced crew, you need a lot of experience to get people in the right spots. And from Scott Padgett to different people that were in CC's league, they all felt like he was a gamer. He's a guy that did what the game told him to. He had to get better defensively, but you could trust that when the ball was in his hands, he'd make the right play. And that's what we've found since we've gotten him.
As much as you focus on the upcoming opponent, how much attention have you paid to the ACC at large as the season's gone on?
I mean, there's so many teams, but, you know, I pay attention to everybody's score and how they're doing. And, you know, when you have a few opponents that are on the horizon for you, you know, you probably have a little bit sharper focus to them. And so, you know, yeah, pay attention.
When would you have started to look at Miami in detail?
Oh, in detail, not until after we played Kentucky. You know, that doesn't stop our coaching staff from doing that. You know, they're working games ahead. But me personally, not until after we played on Saturday.
What's been your impression of the Hurricanes from what you've seen?
Well, they're depleted in terms of the number of bodies they have, but the bodies they have are very talented. Very talented. You know, they've got 5 guys averaging in double figures, or at least did until you know, they still do. You know, they've got some creators on their team. Maybe one of the quickest guards in the entire country, and Chris Likes. They're good. You know, they put you in a lot of spread ball screen situations and roll their 5 right down the lane. And you know, he's had a monster senior year, one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. You know, they're pretty vanilla with what they do on offense, but it doesn't mean it's easy to stop. And so they played a little bit more zone maybe than they have in years past because of the depth. But they've got a good team, and I think you saw that last night. And if it weren't for some missed free throws, they would have been on the winning end. So
Overall, ACC, Chris, I know the answer to this probably, but what are your impressions of the league this year?
It's a great league, and it's not going to change from year to year. You know, there's going to be certain teams that, you know, have better years because of, you know, maybe older players, and, you know, there aren't, but maybe 1 or 2 teams that are, you know, relying on one and dones. But the talent level is always going to be outrageous. Teams are going to be well prepared. It's a hell of a league. That's why I came here.
Has the depth that you've seen so far pleasantly surprised you, or about where you thought it would be for your roster?
Our depth, we need some guys playing better. You know, or I need to play less guys. You know, we need guys playing better.
With Miami, it seems like your team has, especially recently, gotten a good chunk of your offense from getting to the foul line, and statistically they don't foul much. They're good at limiting teams at the foul line. Do you see any reasons why that is from their?
That's a good question. I think they don't get their bigs very extended on the floor, and when that happens, you know, generally teams will stay out of foul trouble. You know, I think they have mixed in, you know, a fair amount of zone this year, and for the most part, you know, you tend not to foul in zone, and they have some smart players. I mean, I'm sure Coach preaches it, but you know, they're not a wild gambling team that, you know, although might get a steal here or there, they're not relying on it, and so it tends to keep you in better position for the most part. That's what I see when I watch them.
What's your attitude about zone defense in general?
I think it can be effective. You know, you have to balance as a coach. The more things that you teach, the more things you have to hold your guys accountable to, and the more that they have to understand. And so, you know, we've tried to always be primarily a man-to-man team, and we'll throw our curveball of a zone. But, you know, you can confuse teams with different zones and different schemes. But, you know, I've found that sometimes you can confuse yourself too. And other teams are trying to do that to us enough. We don't need to compound things.
I'm guessing you don't look at the schedule and do what we do, or we go through and look at these games, but when you see January versus February and early March, I think any objective person would say January is a big month for you guys to get some wins in the league. How do you kind of tell your guys, this is like, we got to go now, it's go time?
Well, I mean, you just sort of answered your own question. You said any objective person. Our guys are as smart as anybody when it comes to basketball. The only thing I'm looking at is Sunday.
Is there a bit of a different mindset when you step into league play?
Well, I think that everybody knows everybody, and you know, they know what the stakes are for and what they're about. You know, you're going to have guys that have played, you know, one another 2-3 years in some cases. So yeah, I think there's a different mindset, and you know, every league game's going to be a war, whether you're home or away. And you know, this league's as good as there is in the country. So we got our work cut out for us against a team that's going to come in stinging from the game the night before last night, and we can't worry about that. We got to be at our best on Sunday.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.